Hello, I'm Philip Joss, and you're watching Buckingham News live at 5. Our top stories. A new survey reveals that the majority of us are microcriminals, but what sort of crimes have we been committing? Could man's best friend also be his lifesaver? We investigate the local training for medical detection dogs. And are fireworks all fun and games? We round up the best of Buckingham's oohs, ahs, and safety regulations. Research by YouGov revealed that 3/4 of British citizens are microcriminals, paying cash in hand, illegally streaming TV shows, and refilling your drink without paying are all classified as microcrimes, and more of us are offending than you might think. Cameron Hawtrey has more.
We often find ourselves in a situation where we instinctively commit a microcrime, sometimes being completely unaware that we are doing so. We frequently commit them, but we rarely admit to our somewhat illegal tendencies, such as the minor lie of declaring a food order was to take away, but then eating it inside the restaurant, or the somewhat more serious breach of law, for example, slipping past the barriers and not buying a ticket for public transport. Recently, YouGov, a market research company, disclosed that 74% of UK citizens have been involved in at least one microcrime in their lifetime.
Best not to be dishonest at all, even though there may not be a victim. Should you be discovered and you're made the sacrificial lamb and you are publicly named, it could have a disastrous effect on your reputation, and that's what we always have to guard.
According to YouGov, the most common minor crime committed is paying someone cash in hand despite knowing there is no tax declaration. The least common minor crime committed is refilling your drink without paying the extra fee, or stealing loose fruit or pick and mix from local supermarkets and shops.
The research showed younger people between the ages of 18 and 24 are more likely to break the law, mainly by illegally streaming content from the web. The studies also indicated that men are statistically more likely to commit a microcrime than a woman. Will microcrimes forever be an ongoing trait of society? The answer is very likely going to be, yes, they will. This is Cameron Hawtrey for Buckingham News.
Local charity The Medical Detection Dogs is 1 year into a 3-year trial in collaboration with the NHS on the use of training dogs to detect breast and prostate cancer. New research shows that dogs can sniff out cancer more reliably than current machine tests. We sent Hashia Degbite to see how the dogs are getting on in training.
Medical detection dogs trains dogs of all breeds to sniff out cancer from urine and swab samples. They can even smell cancer on your breath. Over 50,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer each year, but with the help of the NHS, the charity hopes to develop more reliable ways of detecting cancer in its early stages. Claire Guest, founder of Medical Detection Dog, has first-hand experience of the success. Her dog Daisy, who was trained by Medical Detection Dog, started nuzzling her chest, promoting a visit to the doctor and a breast cancer diagnosis.
Cut a long story short, I was diagnosed with a very early grade and stage breast cancer. And because of that, because of Daisy's alerting me to it or drawing my attention to it, I was told that my prognosis was much better than it would have been, because it was a very deep-seated cancer. And it really inspired me to keep going, because if my dog saved my life, how many other lives could this save in the future?
At Medical Detection Dogs HQ, they train dogs to identify diseases such as urological cancer, breast cancer, and Parkinson's disease. They are now undergoing trials to see if dogs can detect prostate cancer using urine samples provided by a local hospital. So far, they have a 93% success rate.
So when Kiwi comes in, she's being trained to detect prostate cancer. So what that involves is her moving around the carousel, which is a round metal thing, and it's got 8 ports on it where the dog sniffs. Each one of them ports holds a urine sample of 1 ml. Now these urines are coming from different people, healthy, unhealthy, some may have diseases, but are not the target odour that we're looking for. One of them will include that target odour, which is prostate cancer. When she searches and she comes across it, she'll pause at the position, then she'll consider what her actions are. She'll take a seat, sit down, look at the sample, and at which point, if it's correct, the handler will click, walk in and reward the dog.
Good girl. What a good girl.
Go on in.
All dogs have the ability to sniff out cancer and other diseases. However, the best detection dogs are those with a high hunt drive like Labradors and Spaniels, who are known for their good noses, love for huntings and searching for toys. With the help of volunteers, researchers, fundraising events and expert trainers, Medical Detection Dogs aims that one day medical experts will be able to call upon these dogs to help detect cancer quickly and effectively. This is Hasha Degbiter for Buckingham News.
Buckinghamshire County Council is preparing to scrap its current setup of one county and 4 separate district councils in favour of a single authority. The one-stop shop for residents and businesses means that the single unitary could save the taxpayer millions. Neil Fotheringham has more.
It's out with the old and in with the new at Buckinghamshire County Council, who will find out in early 2017 whether their proposal to merge into 5 councils will get the go-ahead from the government. Aylesbury Vale, Chiltern District, South Bucks and Wickham District Councils, as well as the current County Council, will be replaced by a unitary council in a bid to save £18.2 million a year.
It's just simpler, it's better value, and it's much more local for people. We have looked at the option of a referendum, but that would cost something like £500,000 of taxpayers' money. If it's something government wants us to do, we're happy to do it, but otherwise it's a decision for government.
The County Council elections will still go ahead for next May, with the plan being to integrate together all the services provided by the various councils to create a clearer link between the community and the local parishes.
It's important in my view, if you have a unitary, you keep all the staff that you can to transfer them services in a more direct manner towards the public. Saving money isn't always a better service. The reality is you don't get anything for nothing, you have to pay for it.
If the proposal gets the go-ahead early next year, the new council could be up and running by 2019. This is Neil Fotheringham for Buckingham News.
Have you ever wondered how road gritters get to work? As the autumn chill begins to take effect, Transport for Buckingham prepares for their winter service by readying their supplies of road salt. Autumn Tang has this report.
Setting major roads when there is a risk of ice, cleaning snow, and reacting to other weather-related emergencies are all part and parcel for transport for Buckingham's winter routine. The winter maintenance service, organised by Buckinghamshire County Council, has 25 road graters stocked with 10,500 tons of salt, enough for over 870 miles of road.
We have to remember that the road temperature is actually different to the airborne temperature, and that leads us to making a decision of if we're going to go out and grit or not.
Maintained with the scraper and the lumber grating, adjust 3 of the 25 strong armors of graters that can be tracked online, carrying out their duty across the county in real time.
I think it's really helpful if residents are fit and able to do so, to salt their footways outside their home, if they have a grit box in their road to sprinkle some grit, because the more stuff that can go down, the clearer those roads are going to be and the safer they're going to be for both residents and their neighbours.
With Mrs. Sprinkler and lumber grating stone and ready, the only thing you need to prepare is keeping yourself warm and dry. This is Autumn Tang for Buckingham News.
For many, an internship is the best first step into their future industry. However, the amount of unpaid internships currently taking advantage of students has forced government ministers to consider banning the practice. Tamilora Tayo Oyetibo has more on the story.
For many students, the first step on the ladder towards their dream job is some form of work experience. However, work placements often take the form of 1 or 2 week periods. The more formal and longer unpaid internships are seen as a more significant step toward work. Particularly in creative industries, such as media and fashion, unpaid internships are not financially viable for the majority of people searching for the CV, boosting benefits of these experiences.
Tanya De Grunwald, founder of Careers Blog, Graduate For, said it was about time that ministers address this issue because unpaid internship has been flagged in on reports of social mobility as a barrier to a good job.
There will be the same amount of paid internships at the moment, but it could be that there's an increase in quality internships, which again, I think that's why they're looking at banning unpaid to make sure students get periods of quality work experience and the opportunity to gain skills that will enable them to get better jobs in the future.
While the ban on unpaid internships is still being considered, students and future graduates are expected to look for internships that suits their financial conditions. This is Tamara Taitigo for Buckingham News.
The Buckingham Town Carved Pumpkin competition took place outside of the old jail at midday last Saturday. The winner was chosen by the Mayor of Buckingham, Andy Mahy, out of a spooky selection of Halloween-themed pumpkins. Arina Klimchuk has the story.
The pumpkin entrées had to be a freehand design, and as well as having the spooky factor, the entrées were judged on general look, originality, and creativity. The categories for the competition were 6 years and under, 7 to 11, 12 to 16, adults and groups. Everyone gathered at the old jail ready for the judging at 12:30. There was a fantastic selection from carved cats up to scary faces. Pumpkins had to be carved at home and ready to be judged at the old jail by Mayor Andy Mahy.
Yes, the town are impressed considering it's past Halloween, so people have made the effort to enter. Yes, it is impressive.
All ages of the Buckingham community came together to have their pumpkins judged, and after much deliberation, a much-deserved winner was crowned. This is Arina Klimchuk, Buckingham News.
What was your favourite part?
In other news, the University of Buckingham celebrated its 40th anniversary with a gala dinner at London's famous Dorchester Hotel. The event, which was attended by more than 200 staff, current students and alumni, was hosted by Vice-Chancellor Sir Anthony Selden, while special guest John Bercow MP, the Speaker of the House of Commons, gave an after-dinner speech praising the continuing excellence and work of the university. Have you ever wondered about a career in the art world? Join the University of Buckingham's History of Art department on Monday the 14th of November at 5:15 p.m. in the Radcliffe Centre to hear from leading professionals in art dealing, auctioneering and even art journalism.
Our guest this year we have Matthew Hirst from Woburn Army, the head of collections of Woburn Army. We have Thomas Mark, who is the chief editor of Apollo magazine. We have people from the art world, from auction houses, dealers, etc., etc.
For more information, visit the University of Buckingham events webpage. The Dean of Law at the University of Buckingham is hoping that her research will lead to a change in government legislation on domestic violence against women, assault, strangulation and murder, challenging the sexual libido consent defense narrative is the title of her recent publication. The following story contains content which may upset some viewers. Owen Hughes has more.
Yeah, that's it.
A highly respected barrister, author and door tenant of 1 Gray's Inn Square, London, Professor Susan Edwards was this week awarded Publication of the Week for her chapter in the book Consent, Domestic and Comparative Perspectives.
Could you explain a little bit about what's in the article?
The chapter that I've written for the Publication of the Week I think is extremely important. I want people to read it, I want people to read my work on strangulation, and I want to see changes made with current government legislation in the United Kingdom. When women die as a result of strangulation, there is some evidence, which I have researched and documented, where men are saying that she died in the course of some sexual play fighting, and I'm quoting now the word play fighting. The other issue that concerns me with this defence is the more readily availability of violent pornography.
So are you saying that pornography normalises sexual violence?
Absolutely. What men see influences what they do. And they put billions of pounds into the advertising industry because they know that what you see influences what you do. And it seems to me that in this more liberal time, there are some arguments that women are freer. I'm absolutely convinced that women are actually not as free as they were.
You can find a list of Professor Edwards' recent publications, including her article The Strangulation of Female Partners for the Criminal Law Review, on the university's website. This is Owen Hughes for Buckingham News.
Now over to sport with Zoe Briggs.
Thank you, Philip. The University of Buckingham faced off against Steeple Claydon FC in their latest North Bucks and District Football League Division 1 fixture on Saturday. With hopes of seeing them register their first win of the season, Chanvik Kaniju went along.
Yet to win a home game all season, the University of Buckingham were hoping to turn things around with a strong showing against Steeple Claydon FC on home soil. However, things didn't start brightly for the hosts. conceding a deflected effort late in the first half, and despite some good chances on the break, Buckingham were unable to reduce the deficit before the end of the first period. The second half was a mirror image of the first, with Buckingham unable to convert the chances while Steeple Claydon were more clinical in front of goal. The visitor doubled the lead through another deflected strike before a third, and a fourth from the penalty spot completed the ride.
Well, this is football. You win or you lose. Really disappointed for the match as we missed a lot of chances, but right now just gonna pick ourselves up and continue playing in the league.
Still, without a win this season, Buckingham has found himself languishing 0 points from their nearest rival, Sweekley, and in clear danger of relegation. This is Shami Kanijan reporting for Buckingham News.
That's it for the Sports Roundup. Now back to the studio with Philip.
The game Lara Croft Tomb Raider turned 20 years old at the end of October. The character was born in 1996 and immediately attracted a lot of people's attention, especially because of its overemphasized feminine appearance, which antagonized many feminists to criticize its sexual image. Mariam Njai has more on the story.
Tomb Raider was created by a small team of video game developer called Core Design in the city of Derby in 1988. While the developers expected the game to appeal to male players, it found an unexpected audience among women. Megan Marie, who has written the official book, 20 Years of Tomb Raider, to mark the anniversary, says that Lara inspired her to push herself.
Sometimes the character inspires people to do certain things that they wouldn't have thought otherwise. And it's not just Lara Croft, there are other characters in different games. So by playing the role of this character, this fictitious character, people are inspired to take on activities that they wouldn't have thought.
Lara Croft soon became a national icon featured in covers for video games and lifestyle magazine, followed by a production of 2 Hollywood films in 2001 and 2003, directed by Simon West and Jan de Bont.
And in terms of shaping the society, it helps you sometimes be a hero that you can't necessarily be in your normal life, get to experience sort of different worlds, and so on.
Even though Lara Croft had received a lot of criticism from the feminist side due to its image, the image of Lara Croft today has changed a lot over the years and has become less sexualized than 20 years ago. To some people, she is a powerful icon and inspirational in many ways. The Tomb Raider franchise continues to inspire people with the release of an upcoming film in 2018. This is Mariam Jai for Buckingham News.
The university's Chinese and music societies held a concert last week. The joint event turned out to be a successful affair for both societies and was an evening of great entertainment for all in attendance. Elisa Lee reports.
The Chinese and the music societies held their first annual winter concert last Friday at the Radcliffe Centre. The night's musical entertainment included covers of music by the Civil Wars, Sam Smith and Coldplay.
That's the first time we've collaborated with another society to produce it. And I hope it's something we do more often in the future to produce awareness and engagement with students.
The 2-hour concert saw performances from musicians and singers, alike with live piano, guitar, drum accompaniments complementing the singing.
People from different areas get to know each other. It's like Chinese society. Chinese people get to know all the other students from the university. It's definitely a good thing, definitely a multicultural motivation event that we're having now here.
Tonight's concert marked the continuing relationship between the music and Chinese society, something which is certainly producing some entertaining events. This is Elisa Lee for Buckingham News.
The eternal debate on the correct pronunciation of a quintessentially British baked good has finally come to an end, thanks to a new survey conducted across the UK. We sent Dan Morris to see how scone is pronounced in Buckingham.
A new survey by YouGov has finally settled the score on scones. How to pronounce the name of the traditional British tea-time staple has long battled across the nation. But according to the survey, 51% of the Britons rhyme it with gone and 42% rhyme it with bone.
The survey revealed that the pronunciation correlates regionally, with those in the north of England and Scotland using the pronunciation gone, and those in the south and the Midlands using the pronunciation bone.
According to the same survey, how you say scone also depends on your class. Among those in the working class category, 45% agree with the bone pronunciation, while 26% go with gone. However, those in middle class, there's a very real divide, with 55% going with gone and 40% going with bone. How do staff and students at the University of Buckingham pronounce this humble tea time snack?
Scones. 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 Scones.
Scones.
It's a scone. It's not a scone.
Scone.
Scones.
While the pronunciation may vary, and a bigger debate on what goes on first, cream or jam, we can all agree on one thing: they're very tasty. This is Dan Norris of Buckingham News.
In honour of the 19th annual British Sausage Week, which ended on Sunday, our reporter Vilda Elgarn will take you through how to make a great British banger classic.
Sausages hold a special place in the hearts and mouths of most Brits. They're a quick and easy way to make a good meal. Today we'll be using the classic Cumberland sausage to make a family favourite, a toad in the hole. You will need 100 grams of plain flour, 1 egg, 300 milliliters of milk, a pinch of thyme, 8 pork sausages, 2 tablespoons of oil, 2 onions peeled and sliced, 1 teaspoon of soft brown sugar, and 500 milliliters of beef stock. Start by preheating your oven to 220 degrees Celsius. Tip flour into a large mixing bowl and stir in a good pinch of salt. Make a well in the center, crack in the egg, and then pour in a dribble of milk. Stir with a wooden spoon, gradually incorporating some of the flour until you have a smooth batter in the well. Now, add a bit more milk and continue stirring until all the milk and flour has been mixed together and you have a smooth, lump-free batter. Tip the batter back into the jug and add a pinch of thyme. Snip the links between your sausages and drop them in a roasting tin. Add some oil and toss until the meat and pan are coated. Roast in the oven for 15 minutes. Take the hot tray out of the oven and pour in the batter quickly. It should sizzle a bit when it hits the tin. Put it back in the oven and bake for 40 minutes. Cut your onions and soften them in a non-stick pan with a bit of oil for 20 minutes, stirring often. When they are browned, sprinkle in the brown sugar and let it cook for the remaining 5 minutes. Add a spoonful of flour and let cook for 2 minutes while you stir constantly. Gradually pour in your stock while you stir. Let it bubble for 45 minutes while it thickens and then season to taste. Cut the toad in the hole into large pieces and served with gravy spooned over. This hearty dish from the 18th century is perfect for the season. Why not try with your favorite sausage and gravy on top? This is Vilda Elgarn for Buckingham News.
Buckingham Town held an explosive fireworks display last Saturday to celebrate Bonfire Night. But with a petition circling to ban the sale of fireworks to members of the public, Maurice Mishiguo has gone to find out if they are more dangerous than fun.
The 5th of November marks the failure of the gunpowder plot, with fireworks and Guy Fawkes being burnt on bonfires. Buckingham's annual explosive display, Torchlight Procession and Bonfire took place in the paddock at Bolton Park. There were lots of oohs and ahs as the colourful fireworks lit up the night sky, and the town of Buckingham warmed themselves around a bonfire and enjoyed a hot dog from the sizzling barbecue. However, beyond the fun, there is a serious danger when experienced members of the public use fireworks. Every year, thousands of people are hurt, burnt, maimed, and even lose their lives through the accidents involving fireworks, and many animals are hurt and traumatized too. Because of this, there is a government petition to ban the sale of fireworks to the public and only approve organised displays. It currently has over 50,800 signatures.
But it's mainly the safety issue, mainly the safety of individuals, particularly small children. And I know people are taking utmost care, but things can go wrong. But I do think the time is now gone for people to be having them in their own backyard. They're too dangerous, they're too big, and you can buy things that are more or less like small mortars.
The whole community enjoyed the Buckingham fireworks display, but next year there may be more people in attendance if people are banned from organising their own private displays. This is Maurice Mashigo for Buckingham News.
Thank you for watching Buckingham News. We'll see you soon.